Every parent wants a strong, unbreakable bond with their child. The kind of relationship where your child feels safe coming to you with anything, where trust runs deep, where connection doesn't fade as they grow older. But here's the truth. Bonding doesn't happen by chance. It's not created in one big moment or a perfect family vacation. It's built through small, consistent daily habits that tell your child over and over again, you matter, you're safe, you're loved. And the beautiful part? These habits don't require extra time, money, or perfection. They just require intention. Today, I'm going to share 7 simple science-backed daily habits that will strengthen your relationship with your child, improve communication, and create a home where your child feels valued, understood, and emotionally secure. And you can start any of these today, no matter your child's age. Let me be clear from the start. The greatest gift you can give your child is not perfection. It's connection. Your child doesn't need you to have it all together. They need you to be present, to see them, to listen, to show up even in the smallest moments. Because connection is built in the everyday, not the extraordinary. It's built in the 5 minutes before bed, the car ride to school, the moment they walk in the door. These micro moments are where trust, emotional security, and deep bonding happen. And when you make these 7 habits part of your daily routine, you're not just improving your relationship with your child, you're shaping who they become. Habit 1, greet your child like you mean it. The first moment you see your child each day sets the tone for everything that follows. Whether they're waking up, coming home from school, or walking into the room, stop what you're doing. Make eye contact. Smile. Say their name with warmth. Good morning, sweetheart. Hey, I'm so glad you're home. This sounds simple, almost too simple. But think about how you're usually greeted at home. Maybe it's distracted. Did you do your homework? Why are your shoes in the middle of the floor? Or maybe there's no greeting at all, just instructions, corrections, or silence. Here's what neuroscience tells us. When a child is greeted warmly, their brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone. They feel seen, they feel valued. And that feeling of being welcomed creates emotional safety, which is the foundation of every strong relationship. But when a child is greeted with criticism, distraction, or indifference, their nervous system registers that as rejection, even if it's unintentional. Over time, they stop seeking connection because they've learned it's not safe or available. So, starting today, greet your child like you've been waiting to see them, because you have. That simple shift changes everything. Habit 2. Give them your full attention for 5 minutes a day. Not half attention while you scroll your phone, not background presence while you cook dinner. Full, undivided attention, eye contact, active listening, no interruptions. This is what researchers call serve and return. Your child serves. They talk, gesture, or show you something, and you return with presence, engagement, and response. This back and forth builds the neural circuits for communication, trust, and emotional regulation. But most parents, even loving ones, rarely give full attention. We're distracted, multitasking, mentally somewhere else, and children feel that. Here's how to do this. Set a timer for 5 minutes. Sit with your child and let them lead. If they want to tell you about their day, listen without interrupting or problem solving. If they want to show you something, watch with genuine interest. If they want to play, play. Put your phone in another room. Turn off the TV. Just be there. 5 minutes. But in those 5 minutes, you're sending a powerful message. You are worth my time. You are interesting. You matter more than anything else right now. And that message becomes the foundation of your child's self-worth. Habit 3. Ask one good question every day. Not how was school, which usually gets fine. Not did you do your homework, which is transactional. Ask a question that invites real conversation. What was the best part of your day? What made you laugh today? If you could change one thing about today, what would it be? What's something you're looking forward to? These questions do two things. First, they show your child you care about their inner world, not just their performance or behavior. Second, they teach your child to reflect on their own experiences and emotions, which builds emotional intelligence. And here's the key. After you ask, wait, don't fill the silence. Don't rush to the next question. Let your child think. And when they answer, really listen. Don't immediately share your own story or give advice. Just listen and reflect back what you hear. It sounds like recess was really fun today. That must have been frustrating. This kind of listening builds trust because your child learns that you're a safe place to share their thoughts and feelings, not someone who will judge, lecture, or dismiss them. Before we continue, if these habits are already making sense, if you're realizing that connection is built in the small moments, not the grand gestures, I need you to do something. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and tell me which of these 7 habits are you going to start today. We also have a membership with 2 exclusive levels offering deeper strategies, early access to videos, and a community of parents committed to intentional, connected parenting. If you're serious about building an unbreakable bond with your child, check it out below. Now let's continue. Habit 4. Create one daily ritual that belongs just to the 2 of you. This doesn't have to be elaborate. It can be as simple as reading one book together before bed, taking a 5-minute walk around the block after dinner, or making breakfast together on weekends. What matters is consistency and exclusivity. This is your ritual, just you and your child. No siblings, no distractions, no phones. Rituals create predictability, and predictability creates safety. When your child knows that every night before bed you'll read together, or every morning you'll have a few minutes just the 2 of you, it becomes an anchor, a moment they can count on, a time when they have you. Dr. Laura Markham, a clinical psychologist specializing in parent-child relationships, explains that rituals are powerful because they communicate unconditional love. They say, no matter how busy life gets, this time is yours. And over years, these small rituals accumulate into a deep sense of being valued and secure. They also create shared memories and inside jokes that strengthen your bond. Years later, your child won't remember every lecture you gave or every rule you enforced, but they will remember the nightly story, the Saturday morning pancakes, the walks where you talked about everything and nothing. Habit 5. Repair after conflict. This one is critical, and most parents skip it. You lose your temper. You yell. You're impatient or dismissive. It happens. You're human. But what happens after the conflict determines whether your relationship strengthens or weakens. Most parents move on without acknowledging what happened, hoping the child will forget. But children don't forget. They internalize. They think, I made my parent angry. Something's wrong with me. Or, when I mess up, love goes away. Repair changes that narrative. Repair means going back to your child after you've calmed down and saying something like this. Earlier, I yelled at you. That wasn't okay. I was frustrated and I didn't handle it well. I'm sorry. You didn't deserve that. Notice what just happened. You modeled accountability. You showed that relationships can survive conflict. You demonstrated that mistakes don't define you and that repair is always possible. This builds trust in a profound way because your child learns that even when things go wrong, connection can be restored. They don't have to be perfect to be loved, and neither do you. Research from Dr. Edward Tronick on the still face experiment shows that rupturing repair is actually more important for secure attachment than never having conflict at all. What matters is that after the disconnection, you reconnect, you repair, you show your child that the relationship is strong enough to handle hard moments. This becomes the template for every relationship they'll have in the future. They'll know how to apologize, how to forgive, how to stay connected through conflict. All because you modeled it. Habit 6. Say yes more than you say no. This doesn't mean no boundaries or permissive parenting. It means choosing your battles and looking for opportunities to say yes instead of defaulting to no. Can I have a snack? Instead of automatic no because dinner is soon, try yes, you can have some carrots or an apple. Can we play a game? Instead of not now, I'm busy, try yes, let's play for 10 minutes after I finish this. Can I stay up 5 more minutes? Instead of rigid no, try yes, 5 more minutes, then lights out. When children hear yes, they feel respected. They feel like their desires and ideas matter. And paradoxically, when you say yes more often to small things, children are more willing to accept no on the big things because they trust you're not arbitrarily controlling them. Dr. Ross Greene, a psychologist specializing in challenging behavior, teaches that constant no creates power struggles and disconnection. But when you say yes whenever possible, you build cooperation, flexibility, and trust. Your child learns that you're on their team, not their opponent. Habit 7. End the day with connection, not criticism. The last interaction before bed is what your child carries into sleep, and often into the next day. If the last thing they hear is criticism, you didn't brush your teeth long enough. Why is your room still messy? You better behave tomorrow. Their nervous system goes into stress mode. But if the last thing they hear is warmth and affirmation, their nervous system settles into safety. So make bedtime a sacred time for connection. After the routine is done, lie down with your child for a few minutes. Ask, what's something good that happened today? Or what are you grateful for? Share something you're grateful for too. Then, say something affirming. Not generic praise, but something specific and heartfelt. I noticed you helped your brother today. That was kind. I loved watching you build that tower. You were so focused. I'm really glad you're my kid. These words become your child's inner voice. When they face challenges, they'll hear your voice in their head saying, "You're capable, you're loved, you're enough," and that voice will carry them through life. Now, let's talk about what happens when you make these 7 habits part of your daily life. Because this isn't just about making your child feel good in the moment. These habits are literally shaping their brain, their sense of self, and the quality of every relationship they'll have for the rest of their life. When you greet your child warmly, give them full attention, ask good questions, create rituals, repair after conflict, say yes more, and end the day with connection, you're building what psychologists call secure attachment. And secure attachment is the single strongest predictor of lifelong emotional health, resilience, and relationship success. Children with secure attachment grow into adults who trust themselves and others. They can regulate their emotions without substances, unhealthy relationships, or avoidance. They set boundaries without guilt. They ask for help when they need it. They handle conflict without shutting down or exploding. They pursue goals with resilience because failure doesn't threaten their core worth. And they form stable, loving relationships because they believe deep in their bones that they are worthy of love. All of that starts with the daily habits you practice when they're young. Compare that to children who grow up without consistent connection. They develop what's called insecure attachment. They might become anxiously attached, constantly seeking reassurance and validation because they never felt secure in their parents' love. Or they might become avoidantly attached, pushing people away and refusing to rely on anyone because vulnerability felt unsafe in childhood. Or they might develop disorganized attachment, where they want closeness but fear it at the same time because their early relationships were unpredictable. These patterns follow them into adulthood, affecting their marriages, friendships, careers, and even their own parenting. But here's the hopeful part. It's never too late to start building secure attachment. Whether your child is 2, 12, or 20, these habits work. Connection is always possible. Trust can always be rebuilt. It just requires consistency. You can't do these habits once and expect transformation. But if you show up day after day, week after week, your child's nervous system will begin to shift. They'll start to believe, my parent is safe, I am valued, I can trust this relationship, and that belief changes everything. Let me give you a real example. A Hispanic 40s male father felt completely disconnected from his 10-year-old Hispanic daughter. She wouldn't talk to him, avoided spending time with him, and seemed closer to her mother. So, we started with one habit. Every night before bed, he'd sit on the edge of her bed for 5 minutes and ask, "What's one thing that made you smile today?" The first week, she gave one-word answers. The second week, she started elaborating. By the third week, she was waiting for him to come in. By the second month, she was telling him things she hadn't told anyone. One habit, 5 minutes a day, and their relationship completely transformed. Not because of some grand gesture, but because he showed up consistently and created a space where she felt safe being herself. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. I don't have time for all 7 of these habits every single day, and I get it. Life is overwhelming. But here's the truth. You don't need to do all 7 perfectly every day. Pick 1 or 2 that feel most doable and start there. Maybe you focus on greeting your child warmly and ending the day with connection. That's enough. Or maybe you commit to 5 minutes of full attention and 1 good question. That's enough too. Because what your child needs isn't perfection. They need presence. And even 1 habit done consistently will strengthen your bond. Also, these habits don't require extra time. You're already greeting your child, asking questions, and putting them to bed. You're just doing it with more intention. You're choosing to be present instead of distracted, warm instead of transactional, affirming instead of critical. That shift doesn't take more time. It just takes awareness. Before we close, I need to hear from you. Hit that like button if this gave you practical tools to strengthen your relationship with your child. Drop a comment and tell me, which habit are you going to start today? Or if you're already doing one of these, share what you've noticed. Subscribe to the Parenting Blueprint for more content that helps you build strong, connected relationships with your children. Share this video with a parent who feels disconnected from their child, who's struggling to bond, who needs to know that small daily habits can create big change. Tonight, before your child goes to bed, try habit 7. End the day with connection. Lie down with them for a few minutes. Ask about their day. Say something affirming. And notice how it feels for both of you. Because you're not just creating a bedtime routine, you're creating a moment your child will remember forever. A moment that says, you are loved, you are safe, you are enough. And that message, repeated day after day, becomes the foundation of an unbreakable bond. Remember, bonding doesn't happen by chance. It happens through small, consistent habits that build trust, emotional security, and connection over time. You don't need to be a perfect parent. You just need to be a present one. Start with 1 habit today, then another, and watch as the relationship you've always wanted with your child begins to unfold. It's not too late. It's never too late. Your child is waiting for you to show up, and now you know exactly how.